I always believe that you don't get what you want, you get what you deserve. Talent is something that you can have, you cannot have sometimes, but definitely hard work, always beat talent.
Hi Coach, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Okay, so Coach, maybe you can introduce about yourself and more about your background to the followers.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Saaravana Kumar. So I've been coaching for the past 20 years now, about there, plus minus. So I've been traveling around the world a lot. I worked as an assistant coach for some ex-pros. Yes, so I've developed a lot of coaching skills from them, especially, and I realized that coaching, very important is that getting the fundamentals right. So that's what I learned a lot throughout the years. Been trying to pass down to all the kids that I have, and every year is getting better because you try to improvise every year what you need, what you don't need. A little bit of shortcuts here and there. Of course, I mean there is no shortcuts in this game, but trying to do 5 and get the same result instead of doing 10. So this is what I've been doing for the last many years now. Yes.
Okay, and could you tell us more about junior tennis and the people out there, few info about how to determine the rankings of tennis in Malaysia, and are there any difference from the men's tennis?
Yes, junior tennis compared to years ago and now, of course, the skill-wise, level-wise has increased a lot more compared to last time. Like if you're talking about Asia tennis, now Korea, Japan, they are really developing really strong players, even China. And coming back to Malaysia, so our kids having this great exposure, especially Malaysia is trying to conduct a lot of ADFs, IDFs now, giving a lot of exposure for our kids to get better, to try to pair up with the level. Yes, and junior tennis here now, I feel that it is definitely improvising. It is definitely improvising, but there is a lot more room that we can actually look at to grow this game. To grow this game, like trying to create a lot more development, a lot more workshops, trying to bring in other players, trying to share out the experience. And I think this is one of the best way that we can actually give exposure to our kids to grow further in the sport. Yes.
So Aqil is #1 in Malaysia for junior tennis, junior tour ranking. It's obvious that Aqil is a very big talent. And how far do you see he can go? Probably top 50 in the 4 years time?
Okay, talent, yeah, it's a word, but there's a lot of hard work behind this talent. Talent is something that you can have, you cannot have sometimes, but definitely hard work, always beat talent. Hard work definitely beat talents. So, you know, people just always see the wins. They don't see the losses. They don't see the real work. These kids are like, they're working like machines. Like, this is not an ordinary average teenager that they have. They go to school, straight away they come back, they got to get their homeworks done, they got to come back for training immediately, and then go back again to homework again, and then they got to come in with their fitness regimen, they got to be on point with nutrition, they got to go physios, they got to do fitness, all this kind of stuff is a lot done behind the scene. And of course me, always trying to be as pushy as I can, not giving him too much leverage, you know, not giving him too much breaks, because as you guys may not know that Aqil is not really a full-time player. Aqil is actually just a part-time player. He trains only a day, once a day. That's about it. He only trains once a day. And for him to match up, pair up with the best 24 in Asia, I think he did a very, 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 very good and fantastic job. So yes, definitely the future is very bright for this guy. That is also determined on the player, how far he's willing to go, how far he's willing to push, how much work has been done, how much work he's going to do. I always believe that you don't get what you want, you get what you deserve. So if you're really putting the work a lot, and you're definitely going to deserve it.
He has the passion.
Definitely. I've never seen anyone putting so much work and failing in something. If you're going to put the work, you're definitely going to make it. Definitely.
Okay. So what's your hope and target for Aqil in the future, as he's still young, have more time to develop, perhaps SEA Games or Asian Game champions?
Yeah, of course, the short-term goal here is now we're looking at Juniors Davis Cup, Junior Davis Cup, and then the next one will be IDF, UTR. These are the short-term goals. The longer-term goals is, of course, for now, for what he has, the amount of hours that he can put in, we're looking at college tennis. So the part and the process it's towards college tennis. It's towards college tennis. So at the moment, right now, he's currently ranked number 1 for under 14. So next year, we're going to try to achieve the same thing if possible for under 16 being number 1. Try and represent every single tournament that Malaysia is going to conduct. Hope he's going to be in it. And of course, trying to accomplish more in IDF so we can get more UTR points, all this kind of stuff for college tennis. So the end goal is definitely college tennis for now. But we can't predict the future.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the end goal.
Okay. So besides Aqil, who else have you trained? Or maybe like any girls player? And do you see many young talent in Malaysia that could be the world beaters one day? And who are they, do you think?
Yeah. I have a girl player, of course. Her name is Mark Zoe. She's doing quite well now. She's also playing for Malaysia now. So they are all in the same training camp. So and I also had a couple of girls back in the past. One of them is Saw Julin. So she did quite well. She's top 100 IDF.
Oh.
Yeah, but now she's proceeding her career to a bigger stage. Yeah, so definitely the next talent that I'm really focusing on is definitely Aqil and Zoe, for them to go the best they can do.
Okay.
The best they can do for girls. Yes.
Okay. What do you think Malaysian tennis players should improve on to go further to international level in terms of
Malaysian tennis player. I think this is a very debatable question because it comes from the player and it also comes from the coach. The blame always can't be put on the player or the coach. It works together. The coach has to mentor the player, has to guide him, has to lead him on a proper way. And of course, a lot of fundamentals, a lot of techniques, a lot of mental training, psychology training, development training, everything is involved. So a coach, I feel a player and a coach is like a marriage. Like you got a bond.
Chemistry.
Chemistry is very important. Chemistry is very important. Without chemistry, it's not going to work. I can maybe be one day the best coach, or he can be the best player. But if it's not going to work, then it's not going to happen. So it's very important as a coach to understand the player, to make the best out of him, the best version, because every player is different. Every player has a different style. Every player has a different way to react. The adaptation, the response is very different. So as a coach, you must know how to deal with all this. So I think the advice that I would give personally is a coach definitely has to update himself, what's happening around the world. Traveling is very important because you got to see, because if you're just in the same country, you can't do much. Especially for Malaysia, the tennis is not like very exposed like badminton, football, this kind of stuff. We don't really have the professional circuit. So we definitely need to travel with our kids to see what other kids are doing, other countries are doing, why are they doing better than us, where we can learn, where we can pick. So I believe that this part comes from the coach. This part comes from the coach, and then of course the work has to be done by the player. Like you cannot be like just pushing them all the time, because yes, of course you're there, you're always being on them, on their toes, but the real commitment and the determination has to come from the player. Definitely, because this is what he or she is choosing. This is his career, this is his choice. So if he has to put the work, all the work has to come from him.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, is there any difficulty to find sponsors and secure funding from private sector and government, such as KBS and MSN?
Yes, funding has always been an issue for tennis, especially because this sport is a very expensive sport. It's a very expensive journey, especially when you're trying to take it to the next level. You need good fundings. You need that funds, because training is expensive, equipment is expensive. When you start traveling, that's expensive. You got to pay for a hotel, you got to pay for accommodation, tournament fee, all this kind of stuff. Well, currently, I would say right now, for any funding, I would say there's like some very little minor funding, which is not going to be enough for this kid. At the moment now, if you're talking about funding, I would say M&D Association. M&D Association is Mommy and Daddy. Mommy and Daddy Association, they are the full fund now. 100% is funded by them.
Okay.
So we need good funds. Like some people say, make it, then we fund you. But to make it, you need the fund.
Investment first.
Yes, the process is this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. This is a marathon process. So in that process, we definitely need good funds. We have such good athletes here, but we just don't have the funds. With the funds, I think it will be great. We can definitely create more champions, more good athletes. That's definitely just not for tennis. I believe for most of the sport here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, are you coaching Aqil for free or in allowance basis?
No, like I said, association of M&D.
M&D.
Mommy and daddy is paying me. Yeah, so of course, I'm trying to give as much as I can. As you, he's just not my player. I have few other players around with me, so I have to split my time and everything. So of course, you know, whenever I can, I'm trying to give him more and more and more. That's the best I can do at the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's your hope for Malaysian tennis?
My hope for Malaysian tennis is definitely to focus on junior development, because that's what we need. We need a cycle. You know, like we need more Aqils. So we need like more girl players, like I was mentioning about Zoe and all these kind of things. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle. We can't just have one Aqil. We need to have like a lot more. That's how development works. So we need to focus on the 8s, on the 10s, on the 12s. So I believe if there is a great structured development here, definitely Malaysia tennis is going to go far. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Definitely.
Right. Thank you, coach. Thank you so much.